Let's begin with a simple but confronting truth. Your body is listening to you all the time. Not just to what you eat or how much you sleep, but to what you repeatedly think. The human nervous system does not distinguish well between an actual external threat and an internal narrative of fear, doubt, or self-criticism. When you constantly tell yourself you're not enough, that you're behind, that you're failing, your brain interprets that as stress. And stress is not abstract, it is biochemical. Cortisol rises, muscles tighten, breathing becomes shallow, posture collapses. Over time, this pattern becomes your baseline. You don't feel stressed anymore. You become a stressed person. The body memorizes the mind. Philosophically, this is profound. Your body is not separate from your identity. It is an extension of your repeated thoughts. The ancient Stoics understood this when they emphasized governing perception. Modern neuroscience confirms it through neuroplasticity. Repeated thoughts carve neural pathways. Neural pathways influence behavior. Behavior shapes biology. If your internal dialogue is chaotic, self-attacking, or pessimistic, your body will reflect contraction, tight shoulders, low energy, guarded posture. But when your thinking is intentional, measured, and constructive, something remarkable happens. Your breath deepens, your spine straightens, your movements become deliberate. Confidence is not merely an attitude, it is a physiological state. This is why mindset work is not motivational fluff. It is biological strategy. You cannot think negatively all day and expect a vibrant, energetic body. The system doesn't work that way. Your thoughts are instructions. The body obeys. And this isn't about forced positivity, it's about disciplined awareness. Catching destructive narratives, replacing exaggeration with evidence, choosing interpretation over reaction. When you take ownership of your thinking patterns, you begin reshaping your physical reality from the inside out. So before you try to transform your diet, your workout routine, or your appearance, ask yourself a deeper question. What am I repeatedly telling myself about who I am? Because in the end, your body is not betraying you, it is revealing you. If thoughts are the architects of your internal world, then habits are the builders of your physical one. And the body does not respond to what you intend to do. It responds to what you repeatedly do. This is where many people misunderstand transformation. They believe motivation creates change. In reality, repetition creates change. Your daily behaviors, how you eat, how you sleep, how you move, how long you sit, how often you reach for your phone, are not small, insignificant choices. They are signals. Every repeated action tells your body what kind of person you are becoming. Skip movement long enough, and the body adapts to stillness. Fuel it poorly long enough, and it adjusts to deficiency. Sleep inconsistently, and the nervous system recalibrates around fatigue. Biology is efficient. It optimizes for what you practice. Psychologically, habits reduce cognitive load. Once a behavior becomes automatic, it requires less conscious effort. This is why both discipline and neglect compound over time. A single unhealthy meal will not transform your body, but a pattern will. A single workout will not redefine you, but a system will. Philosophically, this forces us to confront responsibility. You are not defined by your aspirations. You are defined by your rituals. The body is indifferent to your goals. It responds only to your patterns. And patterns are shaped in ordinary moments. The decision to go to bed on time, to train when you don't feel like it, to hydrate instead of reaching for convenience. Consistency is not dramatic. It is quiet. It is often boring, but it is powerful. When you honor small commitments daily, the body begins to reflect reliability. Energy stabilizes. Strength builds. Posture improves. There is a visible coherence between who you say you are and how you live. This is where integrity becomes physical. When your habits align with your stated values, your body carries a different presence. There is less internal friction, less guilt, less negotiation. You move with clarity because your behavior supports your identity. So the real question is not whether you have good intentions. It is whether your routines are aligned with the future you claim to want. Because ultimately, your body is not shaped by what you promise yourself tomorrow. It is shaped by what you practice today. Now, beyond thoughts and habits, there is another layer that quietly shapes the body: emotion. And this is where things become even more subtle, because emotions are not just experiences in the mind, they are physiological events. Every feeling you have triggers a cascade of changes inside your body. Heart rate shifts, hormones fluctuate, muscles either contract or soften. Your immune system even adjusts in response to your emotional state. When stress becomes chronic, it doesn't just stay as a mental burden. It settles into the shoulders, the jaw, the lower back. Anxiety accelerates breathing and keeps the nervous system on alert. Suppressed anger often manifests as tension. Grief can feel physically heavy, almost as if gravity has increased. These are not metaphors. They are measurable biological responses. The problem is not that we experience difficult emotions. That is part of being human. The problem is avoidance. When emotions are consistently ignored, minimized, or intellectually rationalized without being processed, they do not disappear. The body absorbs them. Over time, this creates patterns of tightness, fatigue, inflammation, and even illness. The body begins to carry what the mind refuses to confront. Psychologically, emotional regulation is not suppression. It is awareness followed by constructive expression. It requires the courage to pause and ask, "What am I actually feeling?" rather than numbing through distraction, overworking, overeating, or constant stimulation. When you allow yourself to experience an emotion fully, without judgment, the nervous system completes its cycle. The body returns to baseline. Philosophically, this teaches us integration. You cannot divide yourself into separate compartments. Logical mind here, emotional world there, physical body somewhere else. You are one system. Fragmentation creates tension. Integration creates strength. When you learn to process stress instead of storing it, to articulate anger instead of internalizing it, to sit with sadness instead of escaping it, something shifts. Your breathing deepens, your posture relaxes, your sleep improves. There is a visible lightness that emerges, not because life is perfect, but because you are no longer carrying unprocessed weight. Emotional maturity, then, becomes a physical advantage. It protects your health, sharpens your presence, and stabilizes your energy. So ask yourself honestly, what am I holding in my body that I have not allowed myself to feel? Because what you refuse to process emotionally, your body will continue to express physically. And finally, we arrive at something deeply personal. The way you treat your body reflects the way you value yourself. This is not about vanity. It is about self-respect expressed in behavior. Observe how people care for what they consider valuable. They protect it. They maintain it. They invest time and attention into it. Yet many individuals speak about their goals, their future, their purpose, while neglecting the very body that must carry them there. That contradiction reveals something important. On some level, they have not fully decided that they are worth the effort. Self-care is often misunderstood as indulgence. In reality, it is discipline rooted in self-worth. Going to bed on time is not weakness, it is strategic recovery. Choosing nourishing food is not restriction, it is intelligent fuel selection. Training your body is not punishment, it is preparation. Hydration, movement, sunlight, stillness. These are not luxuries. They are baseline requirements for a system that you expect to perform at a high level. Psychologically, when you consistently care for your body, you send a powerful internal message: I matter. That message reshapes identity, and identity drives behavior. When you view yourself as someone worth protecting, your decisions begin to align with that standard. You no longer negotiate with destructive habits as easily. You become less tolerant of environments, relationships, and routines that drain you. Philosophically, this is about congruence. Your outer actions must match your inner claims. You cannot say you value growth while depriving yourself of rest. You cannot say you seek excellence while ignoring your physical foundation. The body keeps the score of your integrity. And there is something unmistakable about a person who respects themselves physically. Their posture communicates certainty. Their energy feels stable. Their presence carries quiet authority. It is not arrogance. It is alignment. They have decided that their well-being is non-negotiable. So, this becomes the final challenge. Treat your body not as an afterthought, not as a tool to be used and discarded, but as a lifelong partner in your purpose. Because when you consistently act as though you are valuable, your body will begin to reflect that decision. And the world will respond accordingly.